What is going on, guys? In this video, we're going to go over a pet witch doctor build, which will look pretty familiar if you were playing prior to 2.1. We are going to go with a little bit of a change just so we can give you guys a different look on this. If you were playing at the beginning of 2.1, you would know that the pets had a really hard time surviving once you hopped into greater rifts right around 28 to 30, and then of course on up from there, your pets had a really hard time. In 2.1.1, they did buff the life and survivability of pets, so we're going to bring out a pet build video, which is going to be, something that might work for you. Now we're going to go over the skills real quick, then we'll recap them so we can tell you how this is going to work. We'll go over some of the gear requirements, then I'm going to show you guys a little bit of gameplay, see how this works. Now, this does tend to work a little bit better the way I have this set up in group play, especially for greater rifts, and that's one of the things that we're looking at. But as the build goes, you're going to use Piranhas with Paranado, Plague of Toads with Reign of Toads, Sacrifice with Black Blood, Fetish Army with Legion of Daggers, Spirit Walk with Healing Journey, Summon Zombie Dogs with Leeching Beast, Graven Justice for your passive, Pierce the Veil, Spirit Vessel, and Fetish Sycophants. Now, the Piranhas with Paranado is a no-brainer. This will group things up. And, you're going to be able to apply, you'll see all affected enemies will also take 15% increased damage. Now, this does count as a knockback, and we'll go over this. So if you've got strong arm bracers, it's very important. But this is good for, crowd control purposes. We're going to show you how this is going to work together. Next up, Plague of Toads with Reign of Toads, because this is going to tick the quickest to be able to proc your Fetish Sycophants, to be able to get, those extra 15 fetishes that are going to fight by your side. Now this is the part where traditionally you might go with something like Big Bad Voodoo with Slam Dance or Gargantuan with Wrathful Protector. Now you can still go that way, and that's very, very effective, especially if you're looking to do damage, you're not worried about crowd control. However, Sacrifice with Black Blood, you're going to see there Ichor erupts from the corpse of the zombie dog and stuns enemies for 3 seconds. And it looks like that it's going to stun everything around it. Now, the reason we're using this in this particular build is because we have the Homunculus. Now, you'll see in the secondary there, a zombie dog is automatically summoned to your side every 4 seconds, and that can be 4 to 6. Now, this is pretty cool because we have it on 4 seconds. This stuns for 3 seconds, so there's like a 1 second gap there. Now, the other cool thing is you're going to see that I'm at 3 zombie dogs. Now, this actually has one sitting in the pocket, so it almost acts like we have 4. You're going to see one automatically come up right there, and it goes right back to 3. So it does kind of, hold one in the chamber there for you so that you can get ready to reload. Now, it does do a little bit of damage, but that's not our main focus. It's more of the crowd control, and we'll show you guys this in some gameplay on just how well you can stun lock some of these groups. And it worked, like I said, it works fairly well in group play. If you are just cruising through, feel free to go with the Gargantuan or the Slam or the Big Bad Voodoo. Now, if you do have a star medal, ignore this build altogether because you're gonna be running with Big Bad Voodoo on the with the Slam Dance there for the damage. That's just a great thing to have. We don't have one. We've been farming for hours, but we'll get there eventually. Fetish Army with Legion of Daggers. Obviously, we have the Zunimassa set. You're going to see your Fetish Army last until they die. So we're going to get all these guys up. We'll have 8 there, plus the 15 that we'll eventually get to with our Fetish Sycophants, plus the 3 dogs. So we're looking at 20 plus, pets that we're going to have, which is pretty neat. Spirit Walk with Healing Journey. And we're running this, so we can get the life back. It's a good way to get out of danger. You can walk through, if you're walled in, you can walk through walls. If you're under, you got the ice cubes popping up on you, and get out that way. Just a good thing to have. You don't need the mana, so there's another one you can run with, but we're going to run with Healing Journey. Now, last up, Summon Zombie Dogs with Leeching Beast. And again, this is, unless you're really well geared, this is a no-brainer. Now, your zombie dog heals you for 100% of your life on hit with every attack. Now, this is very important to have, especially the amount of damage that you're going to be taking in greater rifts, so be sure and hold on to that one. If you've got better gear, if you've got all kinds of different stuff, you can feel free to run with something different. I know people are running with rabid dogs, anything, especially the poison build, so it's all going to depend on where your gear level's at. For your passives, Graven Justice, this is a no-brainer. Reduce the cooldown of all your skills by 1 second when an enemy dies within 20 yards. Very important to be able to get, you know, all kinds of stuff. If your zombie dogs die, you can get those. The piranhas, that's going to come around a lot quicker than that 16-second cooldown. Pierce the Veil. Since we're not going to be using mana, this is also a no-brainer. All of your damage is increased by 20%, and your mana costs are increased by 30%. It doesn't matter. We're not going to be using it. Spirit Vessel. Now, if you're running greater rifts, this is very important to hang on to. If you're running regular rifts, feel free to go another direction, maybe tribal rights, especially if you do have that star metal. You can kind of pick what you want there, maybe even jungle fortitude, but this is the extra life that you need when you're in greater rifts, and that's a good way to be able to come back around, have that extra life. And of course, Fetish Sycophants, which we went over, you have a 10% chance to summon a fetish when you hit an enemy, so that's why you're running Plague of Toads, to be able to get that going. So very important. That's the build, and like I said, stick around. We're going to show you exactly why we're running Sacrifice, and we'll show you on a rift boss just how easy it is to go up and keep them in place. Now, as far as the gear goes, a couple very important pieces. Mask of Jerem. This is a very, very, very important item for your pet build. You'll see there in the secondary. Pet deals 95% more damage, and this can roll up to 100%. So it's very good to have this. If any item you're farming for, even if you're not running the Zunies, this is probably the #1 item you want before anything else, to be able to have your pets doing more damage. Another great item is the Tasker and Theos, and these are difficult to find. You're going to see in the secondary, increase attack speed of your pets by 50%. Again, it's a tough one to find, but if you get it, it's far more than worth it using both of those together. Now, we do have the Zuni set here. Like I said, your Fetish army will last until they die. If not, you still have the other Sycophants. We're running the Royal Ring of Grandeur so that we can hit that 4-piece bonus by just keeping 3 pieces. Since we're worried, you know, a little bit about our toughness and things coming around, we do have the Black Thorns on. You're going to see a couple set bonuses there. A couple good pieces just for the defense. Aughilds, we were running something similar in our builds, but since we got a decent roll on this, plus the increased Fetish army damage, we're going to keep that on. You know, we're running the new legendary gems, the Enforcer, increase the damage of your pets. Now, we have this one up to 23. We've got another one on our Demon Hunter that's a level 31. But instead of switching them out, we're just ranking up both of them. We're getting that extra pet damage there. Like I said, the strong arm bracers are very good to have. Enemies hit by knockback suffer anywhere between 20 to 30% more damage. And like I said, your piranhas are going to apply a knockback effect, so you do get that. And we are running a Zuni's ring here. Not the greatest roll, but we're using this just because, you know, we're using Bane of the Trap. Now, that's one of the things that I wanted to get back to, Sacrifice. We're going to be stunning a lot of groups a lot of times. Now, you're going to see increases damage against enemies under the effects of control and parrying effects. Now, we're going to be controlling them quite a bit between our piranhas, between our Sacrifice, so we're getting that extra 20% damage boost. We're, you know, ranked 21, so we got 21% there. Very important to have. And like I said, the Homunculus is another important item to have. We just happen to have one of these to where it's on a 4-second roll, so it's very, very nice to have. For a weapon, we're running the Doombringer right now. We're trying to farm up the Star Metal. We've got the extra physical damage here. You can certainly go another direction with any type of one-hander that you want. So that's kind of, you know, up to you as far as where you're going to go. Now, we're going to do a little bit of gameplay. If you're cutting off here, I appreciate you guys watching. But stick around. We're going to show you guys just how this works. We're going to show it real briefly in solo play, and then we'll switch back to some group play just so you guys can get an idea on how effective this can be in a group build and be able to stun those elites and keep those locked down to mitigate a lot of the damage and to be able to get through stuff. And again, like I said, you can go another direction with this skill here. We're going to show you guys exactly why we run that, so stick around. Alright, so we're going to show you guys a little bit of gameplay. We're going to hop into the Halls of Agony level 3, and we're going to show you guys, like I said, with the Zuni, you can go ahead and pop your Fetish army there. And we're going to group stuff up like so. And we're going to hit it with our Rain of Toads, and you're going to see at the top there, right beside, you're going to see that number counting up. Like I said, it ticks very, very quickly. And we are already at our cap for 15 Fetish Sycophants. So now we have all of these pets around us, and look at them go. They will absolutely annihilate stuff. And we'll just apply that damage buff, and they just burn stuff down. So applying that damage buff, we're getting the benefit of the Bane of the Trap because they're under control and parrying effects. and we're getting the effect of the strong arm bracers. Now, it also kind of it hurts when they get bottlenecked like that, so that's another effect that Piranhas can help. You can put it behind the enemies and pull them out, get your fetishes out of there so they don't get bottlenecked. And we're going to try and find a group of elites so that we can show you guys just how the Black Ichor works with our summoned zombie dogs. And right there, you're going to see that everything's stunned. We're just doing this for a little bit of fun. And they take off, and I'm going to skip on past these guys. We don't have time for all this. So we're going to get through here, and we might cut the video here in the middle. So we can go ahead and get to the butcher as well, and I'll show you guys just how well you can stun lock some of the bosses and stuff with the... you'll see there's a nice little explosion. Now, when the zombie dogs do hit, they do have a chance to hit kind of hard there. You actually saw they actually took out some right there. So it doesn't necessarily do a lot of damage all of the time, but you're going to see at various points, if you can pay attention in there, it's really hard to see, but we are sending our zombie dogs in there, and you do see that they do blow up there fairly decently. And here is a group. And that's a good instance to use Spirit Walk. We don't want to get stuck in those fire chains. And we're keeping that guy stunned. Our pets went in there and did quite a bit of damage. We actually had them stunned at one point. We had them trapped a little bit, so we were doing a lot of the extra damage. You're going to see a lot. We'll go ahead and group these guys up, and you're going to see a lot of the damage in there between 8, 9, 10, 7 million ticks. Now, the minute we stun them, you're going to see those ticks go up. All of a sudden, they're capping at 12 million. Now, we took our time there. We didn't want to... trying to show you guys the difference on how that's going to work for you. So it's a good way to see the difference as far as using the knockback, being able to get them stunned and all that stuff. So like I said, with that, as soon as we get it up here, with the Grave Injustice, you're seeing that our Piranhas are coming around very, very quickly, so you can kind of keep that applied quite often. So we're just going to scoot on through here. And as soon as we get to the butcher, we will let you guys know and show you guys this in action. Now, one last thing to note here as we clear our way up to the butcher. If you are not running the Homunculus build with the Sacrifice, definitely look at running the Piranhas and Sacrifice if you got that. You're going to look in the secondary, 29% of the damage, and this can be anywhere between 25 and 30%, will be redirected to your zombie dogs. And that's very important to staying alive. That's one of the reasons why you'd probably go with another build. So keep that in mind. If you don't like the option here and you are electing to run either the Gargantuan or any other number of skills in that slot, to definitely look at using that while you have your zombie dogs up. So we're going to show you guys here. Our pets are going to beast this guy down. We're going to keep him stunned as well so he can't kill all of our guys. Now there's one stun. There's 2 stuns. There's 3 stuns. Oh, he knocked those guys back. There's 4 stuns. There's 5 stuns. That kind of hurt a little. I'll hit you before you can hit me, buddy. Sorry. And we are just knocking this guy down. I'm probably shouldn't have taken that, but that's why we have Spirit Walk. But as you can see, we kept this guy pretty much stun locked the entire time. Now there is a quick, gap there, but like I said, being able to understand where that one is in the chamber, being able to get that coming around a little bit quicker, you can do stuff like this all the time. You can get, as long as you have stuff grouped up, it's a 12-yard radius, which is nice. If you're able to group it up with Piranhas, if you're in the right type of elite group, you can certainly use that and go that direction and stun them. If you've got different people in your party that can group them up, whether it be with Black Hole, whether it be with Cyclone Strike, with a number of classes, you can run with Sacrifice and do your group a favor and keep stuff stunned. Now you're going to see right there, I mean, our Fetish sycophants weren't around for a long time because those do disappear after a while, but our Fetish army and everybody else did their job, and as you can see, we didn't take hardly any damage. We went in there, we kept that guy stunned, and things died. Now that's kind of the trade-off. You can find a way. You have to make yourself take less damage with this way. With the Piranhas Serpent, you're going to find a way for it to automatically be redirected. So it's going to be, depending on which direction you want to go. But that's the build, guys. I know I promised you guys a Rift Guardian, but we took the Butcher instead. He was quick to find, and we went ahead and got that out of the way. So hopefully you guys like this build. If it works for you, you know, great. Just trying to give you guys a different perspective. It's such a cookie cutter build when you're going with pets, as far as, you know, the different directions you can go. The name of the game is get as many pets up as you can and let them do a lot of the damage. If you have the star medal, obviously it changes the entire game for you, and that's exactly the item you're going to look for when you're trying to hit, you know, top tier stuff. So if you've got one of those, more power to you. If you want to come help me find one, I would greatly appreciate that. Spent a lot of hours, still can't find one. So that's it, guys. Happy hunting. We'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.